Well, hello everyone and welcome along to the brand new season of the RaceRoom Ranked Championship, as this time we head to Laguna Seca to begin the season. Of course, across this championship, we'll see our likes of the Carreras, we'll see the Pragas, but of course we begin things here with the Mazda MX-5 Cup. Also throughout the season, if you joined us last season, you will hear the lovely voices of Ewan O'Leary, of course, Dara Thacker, Zach Sweeney, but unfortunately for the first one, it has to be myself, Lewis McGlade, and Cameron Roger alongside. This should be some fun. The MX-5 Cup, the returning championship from the first season, should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an awesome format, an awesome car, going to some great race circuits as well. So I'm really looking forward to see how this season is going to progress. Yeah, reverse grids as well for race 2 and race 3, so that always adds some extra spice to it. So it's one of those championships that's quite difficult to win in terms of consistency. So we'll definitely see who comes out on top of this one.
Yeah, you were one of the commentators that was on the MX-5 Cup last season, so I'll be picking your brain throughout this broadcast. Of course, 3 races. Qualifying is what they're presently in. They've got 8 minutes left of that one. Here is the season for the MX-5. So we begin here at Laguna Seca, an all-US road trip before we head over to Mid-Ohio, Indianapolis and Daytona. All of these different circuits, tricky circuits. I do love myself a cheeky bit of Mid-Ohio. Very underrepresented in the world of sim racing, so I cannot wait. So I'm beginning at Laguna Seca classic track.
Oh, Laguna Seca is awesome. It's so undulating. It's very fast as well. Actually, pretty middle speed corners as well. But then you have, the hairpin down at turn 2. You've got the corkscrew, some tricky corners there as well. And it's a really, really tricky track, to be honest. It's so easy to go off into the runoffs. And there's quite a few around here, and loads of gravel traps if you are destined to go off the track. So yeah, it's not an easy one to open the season.
Certainly not. Well, you got that run down towards the Andretti hairpin, the run over the Rahal straight before you get into the legendary corkscrew around the back end of the circuit. Of course, across the 11 turns around here, that final sector is regarded as probably one of the most photographed, most recognisable. I would say in North America, but I'd almost say in the world of motorsport. The circuit's been around for a long time. Obviously, it's gone under a few changes. That section, turn 2, 3, 4, by that that's gone under the most change in Laguna Seca's past. Should be a lot of fun. We'll take a little look at the car as well. We'll be racing around. So before it's the MX-5. Certainly is. Of course, 184 brake horsepower. Only just over a ton, 1,100 kilos basically. Light power to weight ratio is what makes it kind of just a bit of a go-kart run, really.
Yes, and it's got quite a lot of grip for the obviously for the size of it as well. So yeah, you're right. The cornering speeds are pretty decent, but it's the momentum out of the corners that is very important. Even around here where there's no massive straights, there's quite a few sort of middle distance straights, 300-400 meter straights, and you're really gonna have to get the power down out of the previous corner to get that run. So I think that's one thing we're really going to see in the sort of battling, the racecraft in these cars, is you're gonna have the car ahead, sort of leading the battle. The car in second place is just going to be putting all of the pressure on that car ahead. Going to be trying to force them into a mistake, having a bit of a bad run out of one of the corners onto the straights, and that's often the best way to try and overtake in a car like this. Is not one necessarily where you're going to be sort of slipstreaming to go past, at least at track like this.
Certainly not. Well, let's take a look at the entrance for this one. Of course, some plenty of big names, including fourth one on there, Philip Dreiss, champion of last season. You've got the likes up there, Luciano Vitfurt, one driver that definitely keep an eye on over the run here. Renzo Filipal, Sebastian Ray, Vince Farkas, Mariusz Zabdir, all these drivers having achieved so much in the world of sim racing. Of course, here in the RaceRoom Ranked Championship, particularly in the Mazda MX-5 Cup last season. A few drivers that didn't take part in it though, that we're fairly new to. Victor Strettermans with the Simply Pistons Esports team. You've got Evtushenko, also another one of those. Charlie Monk will be one who certainly reached out to me. There you go. You can see Stretterman's there on the right hand side. It's it is a solid entry list as always, with some big names on there. Literally have no idea who's going to win this championship because, yeah, there's a lot of drivers that really can challenge for it.
And the championship was very close last season as well. So you mentioned Dries winning, but Witwer, he probably should have won the championship, but had some issues in that final round. You know, Christian Michel up there as well, Philipp Hau, Sebastian Ray, all of some of the top drivers that we see in these ranked events over the course of the year. Not only the ranked championships that we've got, but also the special events and everything that we have as well. All of these drivers always up to the front, so it's pretty stacked. And even though it's technically like the third tier as such of the ranked championship, it's great to see that all of the top names come out and really put on a show. But of course, with this format, as we mentioned, with the 3 races, it's not going to be necessarily the person who comes out on top in qualifying and then can lead from the front in that first race. It's then once we go back, we get the reverse grids in the second race and then the reverse again in the third race. It's those people who can then come through the pack in those races that really get the points on the board.
Well, let's jump into the final stages of qualifying and see exactly what has been unfolding behind us. We've only got 4 and a bit minutes left to go in the session. Philipp Dries and Christian Michel, NeedRacing.com, the top 2 in the session. Matej Mikiewicz, one who's coming up through that final sector now, up towards the line, currently in that 5th position, but has set a really solid middle sector over his run. I say really solid, it's actually incredibly fast. So Matej Mikiewicz, remember, this qualifying session has been going on for 25 minutes up to this point. This could be a massive improvement for the Hungarian. Up towards the line, challenging for pole position, which Philipp Dries presently has. And it will be up onto pole position. That was a good time to jump into the session. So the Hungarian heads the 2 NeedRacing.com cars in the first qualifying session of the season. Still plenty of time, though, for laps to be dealt with, all around about 1 minute 37. So it's about just under 100 seconds of lap time per lap.
Yeah, time for a couple more laps, which is good to see, but these times are so incredibly close. I guess you would expect that around a fairly short track for the likes of Laguna Seca. You know, some of the tracks that we go to in this car are over 2 minutes, such as the speed of them. So 1:37 is a shorter one for these cars, and that is really nice to see. A 10th and a half, though, in that regard, is a huge gap. So to have that to the likes of Philipp Dries, your reigning champion, is really good. Mikiewicz working really well there so far, but as ever, there are still some improvements coming in. See Orban, he's doing some green sectors, even a bit further down, 12th place. Bjorn as well, some green sectors.
Yeah, so we are going to see a few improvements from our drivers in the final moments of this session. Just 3 minutes left to go. Of course, do you remember back into the previous year where I think it was Luciano Witwer who won the first 3 rounds effectively, which was at Moss. So he won in the MX-5 Cup, then won in the KTMs, then won in the GT3s as well. So it was just really bulletproof in that first round. That is not how this season is going to work. We don't have all 3 of our champions. So the Carreras and the Pragas that will follow will not be around Laguna Seca. We're spicing it up every single race there that we do, so there isn't going to be any of that, which I say I quite like. I like the idea of there being like the support category in a sense, like you're playing through the same circuit, but there is something which is quite fun about seeing 12 different circuits tackled by 3 different cars over the course of the season. Purple first sector coming in from Christian Michel.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to all different tracks for every round in each of the categories, which is looking very nice with the calendar. Indeed, from now until January, where we'll find the 3 champions. And it's going to be certainly a fun one for them. But look at the track limits. Loads of the cars actually get out of the way there for Christian Michel coming up in towards the corkscrew. Absolutely blind, as you see. You just get on the brakes, and then somewhere at the first apex just appears out of nowhere before you drop downhill and come to this. What you'll be trying to do is always flat out left hand, of course. Probably massive lift off, trying to get the front hooked in before you get into the final couple of corners.
Yeah, it'd be a solid lift on a car like this. You don't really have the grip to keep it pinned to there, but that unbelievable middle sector from Matej Mikiewicz is proving quite a difficult one for them to beat. A 10th off in that middle sector was Christian, now coming through the final corner. Still with a decent final sector, could really attack the Hungarian, who is out of the session now, remains in pit lane. Christian Michel comes up and over the line. Does not actually improve the end. I did see he'd taken a lot of curb through T10, so maybe that was where quite a lot of time was lost. But of course, how these rounds work, it's not as simple as you gain the points in the overall championship from the individual races. You gain the points from winning the overall round, right?
Yes, so there's obviously the points are given out per race for the 3 races tonight, but then they are effectively put together, and then it's the overall winner of the night. So it's very important to be consistent in this sort of format, because first of all, you have obviously the 4 rounds to be consistent over, but then on the actual night itself, those 3 races, it's not quite, but it's effectively the average that you're getting over the course of the 3 races. So especially for guys going for the championship, when we get to the reverse grid races, they really need to make sure they're getting back up, because it doesn't matter if you win the first race, if you then finish last in the next 2, you're not winning the overall points system for the night, and therefore you're not getting the points on the board for the championship.
Well, qualifying complete then. Matej Mikiewicz will be the driver starting from pole position, the first of the season. Philip Dries, Christian Mikel, Enzo Filipao, those inside that top 4 on the front 2 rows. Christian Orban inside that top 5 with Lucianovic, one of the drivers that was contending for last year's championship, down in just 6th place. Marius Zabdir, Turka Hakkinen, not really in the position to assist his teammates further up the grid, with Villa Craven, Victor Stretmans on debut, starting from the back end of the top 10. That is the top 10 positions. Of course, there are plenty more, which we'll let roll through. You see some other drivers back here, the likes of Sebastian Ray, etc., etc. But yeah, effectively, what you've got to do is you've got to treat this like it's almost like each round is its own little championship, right? That's how we kind of play it. You win the round, that's where you get the 50 points from. That's where you do. And if you have the same points as someone else, let's say for example Matej Mikiewicz and Philip Dries both score the same amount of points over the round, then they both effectively win the round. They both take 50 points out from this round and into the championship. Doesn't happen too many times, but it is worth noting on that one. I actually genuinely, it is a type of point scoring I have not seen really anywhere else. And I actually really like it. I think it's different. It's something exciting. It's something new to manage.
Absolutely. So yeah, as you're saying, so for the round itself tonight, the overall winner will get 50 points, and it goes down 44, 40, 37, etc. All the way down to 34th place, it gets 1 point. But each race individually is worth 40 points. And then it sort of goes down a couple of points per position as well. So yeah, they're basically battling for that. And if you win all 3 races, you're going to have 120 points, which will then translate to you winning the overall of the night. So yeah, you're right. I guess each championship is a way to, or each race is a championship is the way to look at that. And there's certainly something to think about actually with how you attack the rounds as such, because you don't effectively carry the points for winning the race as such. You just got to be looking out for your minimum finishing position as such. You want to get that as high as possible, but tricky. It's a tricky format to get to the front.
Well, Cam, we are seconds away from the first race of the season. I really need a prediction quickly, not for the round, just for this one race. Who's winning the first race? Mikiewicz, one of the lead racing.com drivers?
Oof.
Someone else?
I am going to say Philip Dries. I think he's going to come out on top, reigning champ.
Okay. I'll go. Do you know what? I am going to go for Matej Mikiewicz. I think that second sector was very impressive. Well, we'll have to find out, because 15 minutes are going to go onto the clock, and the RaceRoom Rank Championship Season 2 of 2023 is about to begin. Mikiewicz on pole position, Philip Dries, Christian Mikel, Enzo Filipao the front couple of rows. We are racing this up the march. Going to start from Philip Dries to the race up towards the first corner. Being caught out just a touch there as the Hungarians can be hung out to dry as they head through this first kick. On the race down the hill towards the Andretti hairpin, both the leadracing.com cars on the inside run going into the Andretti hairpin, and as they run their way through, will be Philip Dries leading from his teammate now as they head through that first corner, Cam.
Well, Mikiewicz, though, up the inside into turn 3, sends it, but it's going to be Michel all the way around the outside. Almost a bit of contact between the two, but Mikiewicz has lost out 2 positions already from the teammates as they're battling him behind. This is Filipao trying to hold on. He's got Luciano Vitva in that orange machine trying to get alongside him, but very nice battling up the front here.
Yeah, that was Enzo Filipao got caught out by the slow run from Matej Mikiewicz, got into the back of him, and then had to very aggressively defend from Luciano Vitva, Marius Zabdir, Turka Hakkinen, Peter Daniel, of course Christian Orban and Victor Stretmans, those that are inside the top 10. The defensive lines being taken from Christian Mikel, who now heads up through this kick before we begin this short stretch up towards the corkscrew. It's looking very good for your pick at the moment, Cam.
Yeah, he's actually done a great job getting a bit of a gap to his teammate behind. Of course, Michel's having to defend a little bit. Mikovic is trying to get back, and it's actually starting to open up that gap towards the front of the field. Is that 6th place? Zabdir now having a bit of a look at Vitver as well, trying to get on the back. We know Zabdir is a very, very competitive driver in this series, in the ranked championships and as such. Really getting fast over the last couple of months, and now starting to challenge for race wins. Vitver defends to the inside line. That's going to slow him down on the exit.
Yeah, but he's going for the up and under. It's Mariusz Zabdir. Luciano Vitver's going to have to try and come over to cover. But I will say the Polish driver has got alongside as they head up to the start finish line to complete the first lap, almost being pinched into the wall, Hungarian style, Barrichello versus Schumacher, as Luciano Vitver is trying to fend off Mariusz Zabdir. He keeps his foot in, holds his line, holds his nerve, and Mariusz Zabdir will move his way up the order into 5th position. Fantastic effort from him, as Enzo Filipao is now on the attack of Matej Mikulic for 3rd position.
Certainly, but the two teammates at the front for NeveRacing.com starting to get a little bit of a gap. Is this them showing their strength, putting their pace down in the opening race of the night? 15 minutes to come 3 times. This is the first of them. We will, of course, get a reverse grid, so these drivers will sort of be swapped around for the grid of that second race. So it's something to be thinking about, but you do need to get the points on the board, so there's no good job sandbagging in this race. You want to be getting every position that you can.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of 2v2 battles in all of this. Of course, we've had that little two-way fight between Christian Mikel and Matej Mikulic, which then kind of went the way of Mikulic and Enzo Filipao. You've got Mariusz Zabdir versus Luciano Vitver. You've got this one here as well. Turka Hakkinen, NeveRacing.com, the 3rd of their drivers. Of course, yourself and I will know Turka Hakkinen, Philip Dreiss and Christian Mikel more as R-Factor team specialists when they race for NeveRacing.com. They normally race over that area of sim racing. I've said this, the last season or so, it has been so good seeing these drivers jumping into this platform and getting themselves involved in the RaceRoom ranked competition. It just shows how it's growing.
Absolutely, and when you get a strong team like that coming, it's not just individuals, there's 3 top drivers there coming in and being competitive. It's really, really great to see, and enjoying them. I'm surprised to see how quickly as well that they've transitioned over, just showing you how good drivers they are. Zabdir there goes in a little bit hot, but actually manages to bring it down to the apex. Thought Vitver will be getting a run there, but certainly Zabdir's trying to work his way up towards Filipao. Unfortunately, there's a second in between them now, such as the battling in the opening few laps. It remains even in terms of that front 4, in terms of their positions, but in behind, I think we'll be seeing some swapping around a little bit later on into the mid part of this race.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, these races are only 15 minutes long, which means you need to get bold, you need to get aggressive, you need to push the car to the absolute limits. What we're seeing here a little bit from Matej Mikulic. You can see a bit of a slide there heading through turn 5. Now through 6, now on the run up the hill towards the corkscrew, out a little bit wide. But we'll see a couple of drivers dipping 2 wheels into that dirt and gravel. That will slow you down big time on the run towards the corkscrew, so you need to avoid it wherever you can. That might have been what's happened back here. Mariusz Zabdir and Luciano Vitver continue their fight. Zabdir holds on the 5th, Luciano Vitver 6th place, but did have a good look in there. If they fight too hard, potentially the feisty Finn behind might find his way through.
Yeah, it's just starting to get into a bit of a heated battle. We've been going for a good couple of laps now as Zabdir is struggling a little bit to hold on to the Dutch driver. 3 wide, we're going to go. Hakkinen in the red machine trying to get involved around the outside of the final corner. He's going to get the switch. Contact is made. Zabdir goes round. There's going to be a very awkward place to rejoin too.
Yeah, he's obviously trying to get that one to flick spin. All 180 odd brake horsepower trying to do it, but even your road car's got more power than that can. And just struggling to get the rear wheels to properly light up. I think that might have actually been more contact with Turka Hakkinen and Luciano Vitver that pinballed Luciano Vitver into Mariusz Zabdir. That was kind of where my eye was sort of taking. It's back to the fight for 3rd. The inside line's going to be taken from Matej Mikulic because Enzo Filipao was trying to get up and under coming out of the Andretti hairpin up towards T3. It wasn't quite working there. We ride on board with the Frenchman. Big slides once again coming in from Mikulic.
Yeah, these battles, they're so tense because these cars are really on the limit. You have to be so, I guess, committed with the car, but any little slide and just lose that momentum, as we were talking about in the pre-show, is so important in these cars to get the exits out of the corners because you just spend so much time on the straights. Any little you know, lost, you know, 1 kilometer slower on the exit of the corner is really bad in terms of your speed down the straights. As Daniel there getting a little bit too close to Hakkinen, goes a bit wide as we come up the hill in towards the corkscrew. It is actually quite sort of wide and open to the apex, but you do want to have a wide line here, so not always the best one to send it down the inside. So Hakkinen holds it on for now, and they don't want to let Wittberg get away, so maybe not best to battle just yet.
Very quickly touch on some of the other drivers that are a bit further down the order that maybe we wouldn't really expect. Of course, Marius Zabdir's dropped back to 18th position as he'll try and work his way back up past Charlie Monk. Big shout out to Charlie Monk, not for any bias reasons, but I mean, his team's, his Twitter handle, isn't it CMR as well, which coincidentally is your Twitter handle. So you know, there's some reasons for you to support Charlie Monk. But of course, he now has to deal with the pressure of Marius Zabdir. He's got Sebastian Ray the other side of him. You've got some other big names back here, you know, like some Jose Luis Gamero, that we know, Rokas de Vries back here as well. There's some big names up and down this order, which just shows how strong the field is getting. I mean, the RaceRoom ranked champion this season, I think we've got 9 servers of MX-5s going racing, and that's just in the European time slot. It's wild.
Yeah, it's really, really popular, which is great to see. This RaceRoom Ranked has taken off over the last couple of years, because this is season 2 of 2023, but we also had 2 seasons last year, so it's effectively the 4th season of this, and it's just growing ever more, which is great to see. So do get yourself on those leaderboards for the next rounds. It's going to be awesome to see the racing over the course of the next few months. As we said, we finished all 3 championships in January, where we get to the 4th round of each of them. So yes, the Porsche Carrera Cup, and then of course the Praga Cup as well. The 3 series that we're going over the course of the next few months. Here's Straterman's there in that 9th place. He's got a bit of Cravey now coming to the outside of the corkscrew. Not always one you see around the outside of that first apex. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Lovely move there by Cravey as he gets up to 9th place.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. Villa Cravey straight round. And into that 9th spot. Got a bit of work to do to get up towards Christian Orban. What's the reverse grid for this?
Top 10.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, to be fair, I would, if I was in Villa Cravey's point of view, I wouldn't be rushing my way up the order. You never know. Of course, obviously you do want to progress. You do want to get as many points on the board, but I would be pretty happy starting on the front row in the next race.
Yeah, I agree. And looking at the point system, the difference between these positions around here is 2 points in terms of the night. So if you sort of sacrifice those 2 points, but then you win the next race and you get 40, the difference between first and second is 6 points, 40 down to 34. So technically that is a net gain. So certainly, yeah, maybe something to think about. But as ever, you actually want to get the points on the board, because it's always difficult being like, oh yeah, win the next race, because you never know what's going to happen. Maybe you get punted off in the first corner and then you didn't get those extra 2 points for making a move in this race. It's certainly, yeah, something to think about for the drivers, but I would assume all of them are just going to be head down trying to get every position they can. Look how close they're getting coming up towards turn 5.
Yep. So what Cameron Roger is saying, you can either be the pins, or you can be the bowling ball. So you can either start from pole position and maybe get taken out in the first corner, or you can be the bowling ball. Did the taking out. Nice, Cam. Great. You a coach. Anyway, obviously no, it's fine. Turger Hakkinen is feeling the pressure from Peter Daniel into that first corner. You're absolutely right. There's no point in trying to predict the future in motorsport, in sim racing, anything like that. There's no point in trying to be like, oh, well, if I start from pole position, maybe I'll win that. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Focus on the race at hand, focus on gaining as many positions in this individual race, and just see what happens. Maybe you'll win the round, maybe you won't, but there's no point in trying to force things. I've seen this before in a lot of driving and stuff, where, like, you know, especially in races like this, where like the reverse grid number is known beforehand, I've seen people drop back into that, and it's always like, what are you doing? Because you're basically putting yourself into a really bad position. Yeah, sure, you'll be starting the next race with pole position, but then you kind of, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. It's irritating.
Yeah, I'd say it's more of an indication for the driver in P11 to start pushing forward, rather than a driver in, say, 7th or 8th place, like we're looking at here, to drop backwards. Because I would rather finish 8th, start in 3rd place, than being 10th and then having to worry about being overtaken on that final lap, because the difference between 10th and 11th is huge, whereas the difference between 8th and 10th isn't really that big in terms of these starting positions. So definitely something for Studimans to think about, but he does have about half a second gap to Bjorn in that 11th place, just off the back of this little train that we're following. This is Turger Hakkinen from eRacing.com in 6th position. He's got Petter Daniel in that blue machine trying to get the run on him up towards the corkscrew. Already seen some moves here in this race so far. Can we see another one to Petter Daniel? No, doesn't go for any sort of dive just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right, spot on there. I'd rather just score the points in this one, and of course you're removing yourself the pressure from those behind, because you got a couple of positions you can drop back and still remain inside that top 10 inside the reverse grid. There'll be a couple of laps left to go in this one. Let's remind you that pole sitter Matej Mikiewicz has dropped back to 3rd position, so maybe pole's not everything round here. Let's just wait and see, though. He is starting to dish the pressure out, though, on Christian Mikel. Would like that 2nd position back. The win surely is gone, though. 1.7 seconds clear. Philip Dries, as you can see him running down to the Andretti hairpin already, looks down the inside from Enzo Filipao, trying to work his way past Matej Mikiewicz with the outside run going into turn 3. He's tried this one a couple of times in that blue and green MX-5. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, it doesn't work in terms of overtaking, but he's almost there out of necessity just because of the run he gets out of that hairpin. Needs to slow down Mikiewicz in some way. He's actually kind of worked. A little bit of a gap has opened up between the German and the Hungarian in 2nd and 3rd place, but Mikiewicz is holding on really well. The difficult part for him is he's trying to attack, but he's also got to look in his mirrors at the same time, which is one of the worst positions to be in. It's all a little bit wide there. Goes Filipao in the blue and green machine there on the third car in this train, trying to get up into the podium positions. And he's really trying, isn't he? He's just Mikiewicz is doing a good job defending so far.
Yeah, obviously, you'll hear commentators, like I say this every single time, the hardest position here is being in the middle. You're defending and attacking at the same time. Everyone else only has one job to do, whereas you're basically in the middle spinning plates. That's exactly what Mikiewicz is doing. Every time he goes in the attack, he needs to think exactly how he's going to go on the attack, as it might leave him open to a potential move. By the way, I did say last lap it was 2 laps to go. I believe because of the timer on the board, again, never trust the commentator's maths, now it will be 2 laps to go. So we'll correct that one. 1 minute 50 seconds left to go as Philip drives across the line. So now they've got a couple more laps to navigate around Laguna Seca to see who's going to be, less so who's going to be the first winner of the season. I think that one's almost pretty much settled. But more so who's going to finish on the podium, who's going to be where in the reverse grid.
Yeah, we've got all these little positions to be sorted out. We've got a 3-way battle for 2nd place. We've got a 4-way battle for 6th place, and also a little bit of a couple of cars battling in the midfield as well. So loads of positions still to be sorted on these final couple laps, and of course the time finishes when the race finishes once the time finishes, and then the leader crosses the line. But even if that's 1 second to go, we will get an extra lap. But I think we're going to be definitely comfortable for the extra lap this time around. As it stands, this is Hakkinen in that red machine holding on to that 6th place. But then we got to Dries, who's leading the way so far. And what a start to the season. He's had 2-second lead after 14 minutes. Yeah,
absolutely running away with things right now. We'll have a victory lap as well, comfortably clear, 2 seconds ahead of his teammate Christian Mikel, who's not having quite the same level of comfort in this race. Did see that there was a bit of an issue for Ontis. I think that was in the final corner on the previous lap. Don't know if that was in a similar sense as what we saw from Mary Sabdir. Very easy to do. A little bit of the Constantina effect and bish bash bosh. You can send the car around. Exactly what we saw from Mary Sabdir. A bit of a shout out to him. He's worked his way back up to the 15th position. So a solid effort. I think he will be able to get to the back of Oppental, but might not be able to pass, as we do not have very long left to go. One more 3.6 kilometre lap left to do around Laguna Seca. Let's see who's going to finish on that box up of the podium, because I think Filipau's got the run.
He certainly has. Is there enough to finally make this overtake? Left or right? Is he going to go? Mikiewicz defends to the inside, so Filipau's going to have to go all the way around the outside. Mikiewicz goes in a bit deep, though. He's completely missed the braking zone, and through goes the French driver up into 3rd place. That is a bit of a mistake there on the final lap. Now he's got to try and get back past into some of the more tricky overtaking spots.
Yeah, that was a rough one. Just feeling the pressure. Filipao dished it out. He's well versed with racing on RaceRoom. Just dealt the pressure, pushed his way through. You can see that he's sliding the car. To be fair, from what I'm seeing, he's sliding the car a lot more from what I'm seeing from other drivers, though, Cam.
yeah, potentially overworking those rear tyres over the course of the race. It might only be 15 minutes, but if you keep your tyres in a better position, that might work. Up the inside of the kink, though. This isn't where you want to overtake. Defending to the inside goes. Philippou just blocks that one off.
Yeah, T6, not normally a great overtaking opportunity, and we'll certainly give it a go. You can tell that he's getting the runs. He's determined, is the Hungarian. I think there might be a couple of opportunities, but where can you do it, Cam? You've got, what, 3-4 corners where you can really try?
Going to be an absolute send into the final corner, I would say. These couple of corners are a bit difficult to get the run. He's actually dropped back, though, a few car lengths. Is he going to be close enough for that final send? I don't think so. I think Philippou's just got enough to hold on.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there through the rainy curve for Matej Mikiewicz. Couple of switches further back down the order. Absolutely no switches at the front after taking the lead in the first corner as they race their way down towards the Andretti hairpin. It is the series champion taking the first victory. Philip Dreiss starts the new season in the best possible way, continuing on things for him and NeedRacing.com, who take a 1-2 in this race. Christian Michele alongside him in that second position. Enzo Philippou in third. Matej Mikiewicz from pole position down to fourth with Luciano Mitford, Turkey Hakkinen, Peter Daniel Orban, and of course Villa Cravey, Victor Streetermans finishing inside the top 10. Fastest lap as well to Philip Dreiss. Those 10 will be reversed, but hey, with that kind of driving for Philip Dreiss, he is going to be a tough man to beat this evening.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets back up onto that podium, or even, the top, fighting for the top spot by the end of that second race. And either way, there's a reverse grid again for the third race. So if he finishes in 10th place, can't do any overtakes, he'll go back to pole position for the third race. So it's a pretty decent position to be in for Dreiss now, and he just needs to work with that one through the second race. But yeah, what a way to start the season, not just from him, but his teammates as well. 3 of them inside the top 6 for NeedRacing.com. That is just an awesome one. And of course, for Streetermans there in that 10th place, he'll have pole position for race 2.
Certainly so. Well, as we can see those 10 drivers that will be reversed, we'll see the drivers that won't be reversed. Of course, you've got Bjorn back here. You've got Marius Zabdir working his way back up into 12th, so there's definitely some drama in the over the final lap. Nemchek, Sebastian Ray, Charlie Monk finishing in 15th, so I'm pretty sure he'll actually be pretty solid with that. He was telling me that he wanted to finish inside the top 20, so 15th is significantly better. Puts him in a good position for the next race. Bartosz Polgar, Evtushenko was one of those drivers that dropped back over that final lap. Bachmann, and of course Farner being inside that top 20. The final finishes on the road, everyone reaching the checkered flag, by the way, so shout out to that. Kovalevsky, Jose Luis Gamero, De Villa, then Rokas De B, Ontis, Obratau, Gaspar Misch, and Sebastiano Rossi being the 28 finishers. It's a pretty big shout out, everyone getting to the checkered flag. That's not bad, Cal.
That's not bad for MX-5's first round of the season with the hairpin that we have here for the first braking zone of the track as well. So yeah, good start to the season. Of course, this is a ruthless format in the fact that if you get knocked out necessarily in that first race, you're effectively going to be starting race 2 at the back. But we have seen, I think it was Zabdir, second round of last season, he managed to then get back up inside the top 10, and then obviously got into reverse places for that third race. So it's not all over in this format if you have a bad race, but no one seemed to be honest. Of course, there was a couple of drivers who had some spins dropping about a minute or so off the lead, but certainly not too shabby.
Yeah, but when you consider what happened there in that race with Marius Zabdir, to use him as the big example here, Cam, he obviously got spun. Not sure 100% as to who was to blame for that, on whether it was Turkey Hakkinen, Luciano Mitford, or whatnot. But it was contact with the final corner, and he went round, dropped down the order, worked his way back up to the 12th position. I don't think he is looking for 10th position in this race. I think he is looking to. He'll have nothing to lose here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Marius Zabdir working his way through into, let's say, a top 5, maybe.
Oh, and he's got the aggression to do that as well. That's sort of his style. So, yeah, fair play if he can get that high. But yeah, I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him up towards the top there. He seems to have the sort of the racecraft. He's got the know-how. He made a couple of positions there at the start of that race. That's what put him into that position. Just unfortunately getting tagged around. So certainly a driver to look out for, I think, in the second race.
Oh yeah, potentially. I mean, I say potentially. I mean, definitely. I'll be certainly keeping my eye on him. We know he's a quick driver. We know he's an aggressive driver, and especially when he's been thrown, his back against the wall. I'm sure there'll be even more, focus for him to work his way through the order. He'll be absolutely determined in this one.
Yeah, he definitely will. And I'm trying to think what race it was. It might have been that Road America race that we did, but he just absolutely romped off from the front as well. I think race 2 is about to get underway. We'll see what Straightmans can do from the pole position.
Certainly so. He's got Villacrevi to deal with on the race down towards the Andretti hairpin for the first time in this one. It'll be underway once more as we look down the order. Likes of Mate Mikiewicz in that mid-pack, already having a good start from Luciano, a bit but straight around the outside there. Mikiewicz is going to go better in this race than one of the previous. It's going to be 3 wide plenty. It's Christian Mikau who's looking down the inside of that NeedRacing.com MX-5. Now trying to fight with his teammate. The whole shot has been taken from the Belgian driver Victor Straetmans though. Peter Daniel, Villacrevi, then Turk Hakkinen for NeedRacing.com, and then literally the entire field for 5th place.
I think they're all side by side as well, coming in towards turn 3. The car going down the pit road, avoiding some contact in that first corner. We're already seeing some great starts. Here's Christian Michel up into the top 6 so far, getting past Orban. We've got Zabdin already into 11th place on the back of your race 1 winner. There they are, almost 3 wide in the background, coming towards turn 5. Zabdin sending out the inside of Dries, and on the outside of him, of course, we have Mikiewicz just getting sent out wide.
Yeah, Enzo Filipao was the one there in that blue and green car taking the defence. We look backwards from him. As you can see, the Polish driver of Mariusz Zabdir dropping in behind Mate Mikiewicz. Philip Dries finding himself outside of the top 10, outside of the reverse grid for the next race. But let's be honest, again, we've got 13 and a bit minutes left to go in this one, so let's not count our chickens before they've hatched, because we've got still plenty of race to do. Although Dries will have to deal with the charge of likes of Nemchek and Bjorn, of Sebastian Ray as well, who are also in the mix. This is back up towards the fight per second, and Daniel will be the driver hanging on to it for now, not allowing Straetmans to run away just yet.
Yeah, that's what Cravey needs to think about as well. This is what we saw in that previous race. We had the P2 and 3 battling, and that's what let Dries get away. And let's see if that one repeats itself in this race too. So Cravey trying to chase down Daniel, though actually Daniel's got a pretty good run there out of the final corner. Might be having a half thing to lead by the end of this lap. Here is Vitford now in that grey and orange car, going to the outside of turn 1, trying to get on the back.
Yeah, delicious Luciano Vitford sandwich with some NeedRacing.com bread. Might well be a little bit less of that though, because there's been contact from Christian Mikau, who will work his way through the German, trying to force his way through Luciano Vitford, though getting his elbows out. I mean, these things when they go racing and club racing, they get a little bit elbows out. Very much on the pathway to various touring car racing and such. You see this at a lot of people that race. Everyone has seen that clip of like the MX-5s going side by side at Silverstone. Someone leans out the side of the car and slaps someone's window closed. That's the style of racing that you get in the MX-5s, and that continues into sim racing. We love it, and here we go for the lead.
Certainly Straetmans in that white machine, just holding on. Daniel seemingly got the pace as it stands on this second lap, getting the run up towards the corkscrew. We've seen overtakes on the outside here. Can Daniel do it all the way around the outside? He's going to have to brake late and be brave, but Straetmans there, strong on the brake pedal. Can he get it stopped? Just about to hold on.
He nearly went Straetmans on. It's a stretch. We're not going to move it. It's fine. But Peter Daniel is trying to find his way past. It was nearly a little bit too much from the Belgian driver, but he is now feeling the pressure of the grouping behind. Villacrevi and Turk Hakkinen, 2 of those feisty Finns, sat in 3rd and 4th. They will be ready to pounce at a moment's notice should anything happen between these top 2. But I think they might have to force their way involved into the fight. Villacrevi looks to the inside. He's very much 3 for the lead. It could be Turk Hakkinen leading the end of the Andretti hairpin. You never know.
There's going to be a send to the inside. No, Straetmans just defends. It's going to be the outside line for Peter Daniel. We're also going to send to the inside there for Hakkinen for that 3rd place as well. As he's made it stick, he's got up the inside there. So the lead has stayed the same, but Hakkinen's got up onto the podium as the door opened. Cravey was trying to get a bit creative, but unfortunately couldn't make that position, and in the end just absolutely lost one too.
Yeah, exactly. Like Cravey was almost too focused on first and second, almost forgot, it seemed, that Turger Hakkinen was there and ready to pounce. Certainly did pounce as we get side by side now up towards turn 4. Once again, the inside line being taken from Philip Cravey, the outside line being taken from Peter Daniel. The yellow flags out in sector 2. That's courtesy of De Villa and Rossi that are both around on the exit of T3 before they get themselves back going again. Stratton's is having to deal with a lot of pressure. And you kind of sat there thinking, how can I deal with this for 10 minutes and 40 seconds? That is such an insane amount of time to try and fend this lot off. But it's not even there. You've got the likes of Luciano Vitford getting down the inside of Villa Cravey.
Oh, certainly Cravey had a bit of a bad run. I think he went onto the gravel on the exit of T6, onto the Rahal straight, side by side. This is not necessarily the corner you want to do this, but they're doing it either way. And it looks like it'll be Vitford just holding it on the outside, but getting dives to the inside there. That is one of the eliteracing.com's of Christian Michel. As we continue to be side by side, Vitford will have the inside line in towards the final corner, though. Should be able to at least keep the position on the inside, but can he get the exit? Yeah, just squeezing out Cravey. Should be up into 4th place.
Yeah, but this has allowed the top 3 to run away. Quite a large gap now as Luciano Vitford gets himself into 4th place. Of course, he did win the first round. In fact, he won the first 2 rounds of the Mazda MX-5 Cup last season. Like you said, really should have gone on potentially to be the champion that season, but things went awry in the final round. A few too many mistakes and such. I actually don't remember off the top of my head what exactly happened, but certainly had a few issues in that final round. And now seeing all these battle behinds working his way in the 4th position, Philip Cravey, Christian Michel all switching up as Michel's trying to get around the outside. Enzo Filipao now into the mix.
Oh, this is either pass or be passed. It's awesome racing here for the lower end of the top 10. Remember, top 10 gets reversed again for race 3, so these drivers will be continuing that battle. And we're looking at Zabdir now on the back of this train, who is going to be in that 11th place, just missing out. Up the inside, though, is going to be Orban on Mikovic, your pole driver from that first round. Now down in towards 9th position. As we look at this, we get reverse grid, you get the faster drivers coming in behind, pushing everyone together. And look at that 8-car battle. You say 6 is the magic number, but 8 cars here.
Oh, that's a different championship though, where 6 is the magic number. In the MX-5s, it's literally the entire 28 car field is the magic number with this lot. That's a downforce for me. But it is an interesting thought of like what is the magic number? Remember, based on the first race, might have even just been 2 or 3. Once you get more than that, you do have those sort of like those splits, those divides, what we're seeing at the top 3, as to why they've been able to pull such margin over the likes of Luciano Vitford and Villa Cravey. The outside line being taken from Marius Zabdir, trying to get his way past Philip Drives, fastest lap of the race, going the way of the German, of the race winner of the previous one. Meanwhile, at the race lead, things are going on. Peter Daniel, Victor Strattermans, all switching over. That must have been on the start finish straight. Must have been a better run out there from Peter Daniel, and he's worked out to the race lead. Here comes Turger Hakkinen.
Yeah, down the inside for 2nd place. Is it going to be down to 3rd for Strattermans? Yes, it is, in the space of 2 corners, losing the race lead, and then 2nd place. And because of that batting as well, Vitford is getting a little bit too close for comfort in that 4th position, pulling Philip Cravey along with him. But now, as we get towards the mid part of this 2nd race of the evening, Peter Daniel gets to the front and is trying to pull away.
Yeah, exactly. This is not done just yet. Well, I say not done just yet at all. We're only halfway through the race. We say Luciano Vitford. I almost thought that it was going to be between the top 3 and no one else was really going to fight. But Luciano Vitford said, "What are you talking about, Les?" As he tries to work his way back up into the mix. Very much target fixation for him onto the rear end of Victor Strattermans, and I'm sure now that distinctive orange and charcoal grey MX-5 will close up for them. Here comes a move though from Filipao after a bit of a mistake from Christian Michel, trying to work his way through. Villa Cravey and Luciano Vitford also switching their way round. You can see Vitford has the hold of 4th position at the moment, as he did at the start of the lap. Christian Michel though, and Enzo Filipao, great move around the outside of the raining curve.
Oh, that was tight between the two, almost a send to the next corner as well, but Filipao manages to keep that 6th position with, of course, Orban just getting very close on the back of these drivers as well. Got to be looking in their mirrors as we're starting to see this top 8, or this 8-car battle, yeah, as you said, break up into little duos and trios, and very difficult to keep together in some big groups. But there is Orban in that 8th position. He's had a strong sort of part of this race so far. As in the background, Drace has got past Mikovic to get up in position as well. So now it's between Mikovic and Zabdir to have reverse grid pole.
Yeah, big look as well ahead. There was another one. Enzo Filipao, Christian Michel, they switched on the previous lap. They continue to try and switch on this one. You're absolutely right, though, that Christian Orban is involved in this fight. Philip Dries as well, starting to find his pace and his footing as we head into the final 6 minutes. About 4 laps left to go in this one. He's worked his way past Matej Mikiewicz. Also, Mariusz Zabdir finding himself outside of the top 10, exactly where he, or just one position ahead of where he started at the beginning of this race. We were saying about Zabdir, maybe he can get himself inside the top 5, maybe he can do this, maybe he can do that. He got inside the top 10 with some aggressive moves early doors, and then just couldn't quite keep that momentum up. And again, there are fears for him to not be inside the top 10 reverse. Out wide, Peter Daniel goes, and it'll be the race lead switching away to Turka Hakkinen. Courtesy of that run through T6, we've seen it so many times. If you go wide, you did 2 wheels into that dirt and gravel, it will slow you down enormously.
Yeah, mistakes are really exaggerated. Oh, he's done it again. In the background, Peter Daniel, he's gone off. Wittwer comes through for 4th place. And here comes the darker blue car, Villa Cravey, to try and take another position away from the Czech driver who was leading the race not just a couple of corners ago. Oh, he's really struggling to get back into the rhythm of things. Here's Cravey up the inside of the final corner. Should be able to make that position. Once again, having further mistakes, further issues here, really dropping down the field.
Yeah, what has happened to Peter Daniel this lap? He has just fallen to pieces. You could say maybe dirty tyres, you could say maybe this, maybe that. Maybe there's a physical problem, like something hardware related. I don't fully know, but one mistake has led into another, and Peter Daniel has gone from the lead all the way down to 9th in basically a lap. That is. That's wild, and what it means is that Turka Hakkinen's leading, but only by 0.2 of a second over Victor Stretmans, over Luciano Wittwer, with 1.9 now back to Villa Cravey, who finds himself in that 4th position.
This is huge send. Can he save it from Filippo? Yes, he can. Hit the curb way too hard. Went onto 2 wheels, was probably about 100 meters there, but managed to save it. Wow, that was almost a rollover. Wasn't expecting necessarily to see that today, but huge save.
Yeah, that was some full-on stunt driving. If ever I've seen it, I did see one of those in practice. I was having a little conversation with our broadcast director here. Of course, Christo, Captain Coffee. We're having a little bit of a chin wag. Someone goes up onto 2 wheels, and I don't know what I was talking about, but I couldn't help but going, whoa, mid-sentence, just because that was, it's wild when you see it. I'm sure that's happened in practice to Enzo Filippo, because he dealt with it so calmly and barely lost anything.
Or as we're seeing Daniel, he's having further problems. He's dropping back. He's out of the top 10 now. That gives Zabdir the reverse grip pole. But we've got Ray Nemchek actually coming for those positions as well. Orban up the inside in towards the final corner. It's actually Philip Dries trying to overtake him, trying to get that switch back onto that front straight. Dries with the fastest lap in this race as well. So he might be sitting back there, starting in 10th place, but he's starting now to work his way up this field as he should have Orban sorted in towards turn 1.
Yeah, and he also, not on this lap that's just been complete, but the one before, set the fastest lap of the race. It's been a slow burner for Philip Dries, but he's picking him off now, looking to again go and try and secure the round victory. And yeah, he's pieced himself together very solidly for that one, especially because he'll leave himself in a solid position to move his way through and maybe take a victory in the 3rd race. Which will be coming up very, very swiftly after. There's about 3 laps left to go as Luciano Wittwer's trying to find his way past Victor Stretmans. These two we've seen battle a few times. Turka Hakkinen, though, starting to check out a little bit. Half a second now back to the Belgian.
Absolutely, a couple of gaps starting to open up as the battles continue. Well, of course, when you battle, you can't go at full speed, and then the drivers ahead of you just pull away a few tenths. It's very, very important to battle at the right time in a format like this. But here is Filippo, just now dropping off the back he's trying to follow Dries through, but still dropped off the back a little bit of Dries in this battle as Orban has dropped down in towards that 8th position so far. And now here is Zabdir in that 10th place, but Ray's caught up, and Ray is coming for that reverse grip up.
Yeah, he's all over it. He is giving it a damn good go at the moment. You know, he knows that that's the position where one spot will make all the difference. Unfortunately, Kovalevsky's had a bit of a problem. I assume that would be through the corkscrew, and Kovalevsky drops back to 20th position. But, you know, Sebastian Ray is well experienced in the world of sim racing. He knows that this one spot could completely change his evening.
Yeah, I think it was the TCRs that we had in season 2 of 2022. He was really going for the championship that year. Wittwer, though, almost a huge send to the inside. There's in the background Villa Cravey, Christian Michel going side by side in turn 2. Who's going to come out top of this one? Michel's holding it all the way around the outside onto the gravel a little bit. And now the inside of turn 3 should be a nice racing line, but can Cravey hold on the outside? No, he backs out of that one.
That's solid though, very solid racing as the up and under working potentially for Villa Cravey. Got the inside run going into T4. It'd have to be very brave to leave it down there because of the curve on the inside. Maybe he gets a little bit scared of not going up into two wheels, and it might cost him the Philip Dryce here. They could be a top 5 up for the series champion and the race 1 winner this season. To the inside, Dryce will go, a bit of contact between himself and Villa Cravey, and he will muscle his way through into 5th place. Superb move there from Philip Dryce. Enzo Philippou also into the mix.
Awesome. Awesome battling here in the MX-5s. They're almost pushing each other there through the King of Turn 6. Up the hill we come. Dryce in 5th place. Cravey in that blue machine just behind him. I do not count out Philippou as well. As we come up towards the corkscrew, drivers moving all over the place in the braking zone, trying to find some position for their car to defend from the ones behind. It seems they held on to their places for now, but this is really getting hectic now to get into towards the final few moments of this race.
Of course, there should be one extra lap after this, courtesy of where the timer is. Turkka Häkkinen will be heading his way down towards the line. Just 10 seconds left to go, but I'm sure he'll be able to sneak another one onto the board. It will be extremely close, though, as we begin the final lap of this race. NeedRacing.com looking to try and sweep Laguna Seca thus far. Of course, that victory for Philip Dryce. Wouldn't it be great for them if Christian Mikel was also able to win the 3rd race? As here comes a look though to the outside. Turkka Häkkinen has not won this one just yet because he's got 2 feisty rivals behind, desperate to steal this one from him at a moment's notice.
Yeah, we know how good these drivers are. They're all capable of winning this race, but can they find a way through? Laguna Seca, not the easiest track necessarily to overtake, but there are quite a few places that you can get a run if the driver ahead makes a mistake or not. It looks like a car length gap there for Häkkinen, and it's actually going to be Vitvo who's putting that pressure on Strademans, coming down towards turn 5, half looking to the inside there, but no place to get through at this point of the lap.
Must nail turn 6. That's all what's got to be going through Turkka Häkkinen's mind. Do not go wide. Do not hit the curb on the inside. You have to nail this corner and remove the pressure from behind. I think one driver who has nailed it was the driver that we're on board with here, Luciano Vitford. It was solid from Turkka Häkkinen. It was solid from Victor Strettermans. Is there an opportunity for Luciano Vitford to go his way through? He's going to give it a go at the outside.
Oh, he is. So couldn't get the run there, but he's going to get a better exit potentially. It's going to be an awkward maneuver if he gets through. Again, it's going to have to probably be the final corner, but this is where you set it up. This is where you get the run to try and get the position.
Switch between the Hungarians behind as well. Mate Mikiewicz and Christian Orban switch over. So 8th position goes the way of Mikiewicz. Still the reverse grid pole being held from Marius Zabdir. Still the race lead being held from Turkka Häkkinen. Final corner complete, and the race victories will keep coming in for NeedRacing.com. It's Turkka Häkkinen on top this time, ahead of Strademans and Vitford. Solid drive from Häkkinen to have worked his way through into the race lead and then fended off the charge of Victor Strademans, who looked so strong for such a long portion of that race. I think he'll be very happy with 2nd place. Luciano Vitford in 3rd, then Christian Mikel, Philip Dryce up to 5th position after a slow start of the race. Villa Cravey, Enzo Philippou, Mate Mikiewicz, Christian Orban and Sebastian Ray, the finishers inside the top 10 cam. But give a quick shout out to Turkka Häkkinen, incredible drive.
Oh, absolutely. Held on after all the pressure there at the back, behind him, and also just working his way to the front in the opening parts, the middle part of that race. Really, really strong. You see just how difficult it is to win a race around here, and the battling in that top 10 was absolutely awesome. There was really the top 11, top 12, because we had Peter Daniel drop out, we had Zabdir drop out of the top 10 as well, so some bigger names there missing out on the final reverse grid.
Yeah, hopefully we can see the rest of the finishers there, because there are some big switches up in all of this. You will note that Marius Zabdir was not inside the top 10, ended up down in 13th position behind Charlie Monk. Some issues on that final lap. David Nemchek being in that 11th position. Of course, those top 10 getting reversed, these ones not being able to do so. Alexei Evtushenko will finish in 14th position. Of course, then Farner, Jose Luis Gamero, Bachmann, Kovalevsky with some issues quite late on in the race, with Gaspar Misch making his way up into 90th position. Fix Bjorn inside the top 20. The final finishers in this race: Peter Daniel, Polgar, then Barcelos, De Villa, Obertal, then Ontis, Rossi and Arokas to be not having a good one in this, being the only driver to go a lap down in all of that. Of course, we do have one race still to come. Yet more drama as the top 10 will get reversed. But we'll be back in just a moment to take you through that final race. 2 races down, 1 more left to go here at the beginning of the season of the RaceRoom Ranked Championship 2023. There's, of course, Season 2 here of the year, the Mazda MX-5 Cup. We've had a fantastic couple of races. NeedRacing.com taking victories in the pair, and then 1 from Philip Dries, 1 from Turka Hakkinen. We'll use this time, though, to touch on a little bit of the future, though, Cam, because, of course, next week we're not racing at Laguna Seca. Next week we'll be racing at the Hockenheimring in the Carrera Cup. Something, again, one of the beautiful things of this season. We're switching it up each round we go racing. There's the calendar for the MX-5, but it's not the same as the calendar in the others.
Yes, so over the course of the last season of the Ranked Championship, all 3 championships, they've either been sort of on the same week or a week apart, but they followed the same calendar for each of the 4 rounds. But this season, we have a different calendar for each of the series. Of course, MX-5s tonight, we've got the Carrera Cups next week, and then the Pragas for the Pro Championship in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, Hockenheimring, this is going to be a nice, fun one as well. We could also go to Imola, Donington Park, and Bathurst in that series. So really switching it up and going to some great tracks and using, there's so many tracks available on RaceRoom, and it's good that we're using a bit more than 4 of them, going to 12 over the course of the season. Yeah,
of course, the other 4 being the ones that the Praga go to, which would be Suzuka, then Interlagos, Silverstone, and Brands Hatch, which, of course, will take us into the new year. We'll discuss how that one is going to work as well in due course, but I think it's almost about time to get ready for the next race. Do you think NeedRacing.com are going to sweep the weekend? By weekend, I mean we're a Wednesday.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, it'd be great to see Christian Michel rounding out 3 NeedRacing.com drivers getting a win each here at Laguna Seca. He's starting in the middle of that top 10 though, so have to work his way forward, but we've seen these drivers are so quick today. Philip Dries getting fastest lap in both races, and considering he was in the pack in that second race, really just showing he is probably one of the faster drivers out there today.
Oh yeah, I think that one is almost guaranteed. We'll have to wait and see who's going to win this 3rd race, as the grid has been reversed. The top 10 have been switched around. Sebastian Ray will be starting this one from pole position. Christian Orban starting alongside as we race our way down towards that first corner once again. NeedRacing.com looking to try and take their 3rd consecutive victory. Well, let's see if it's going to be with a 3rd different driver as well. Down to the first corner, Sebastian Ray is going to lead, and comfortably so. Mate Mikiewicz, Christian Orban, the 2 Hungarians fighting over 2nd positions ahead down towards the Andretti hairpin. Mikiewicz around the outside, trying to send it through. The inside line's being taken from Enzo Filipao as well on that blue and green MX-5 as he's trying to work his way through and up onto the podium. Solid start though.
Absolutely up the inside there, bit of a send from Mikiewicz on the brace just to hold on to that one. Filipao goes up the inside though, squeezes through Orban on the apex of turn 3. Nice move there. Can he complete in turn 4? Yes he can, but on the inside of Orban is now Philip Dries trying to work his way through as they go onto the gravel a little bit on the exit. Up this little back straight, get a bit of a slipstream from his teammate, and then maybe Christian Michel can go around the outside as well. Orban losing 3 places in 3 corners.
Yeah, it's not great for Christian Orban. Like you say, was battling out with Mate Mikiewicz for that first corner. It's kind of all just unfurled from there, let's put it that way. Luciano Bitford here, we're looking at 7th place for him, trying to work his way past Christian Orban as well. Wasn't quite able to pounce on that one. You've got Villacravi, you've got Turka Hakkinen behind, but up towards the front, Mate Mikiewicz. He'll be a little bit irritated by how the evening started. Pole position on a fantastic lap time, but he is having to deal with no victories this evening thus far. That can change in a moment's notice, but he's been out wide there through the rainy curve.
Yeah, maybe being on pole position in that first race, thinking he's going to win the first race, but maybe this is an omen for him to win the 3rd. We'll have to find out. A lot of racing still to go, and some feisty drivers around him as we come to finish the first lap of the final race of this evening. It's going to be Sebastian Ray from that pole position, but in behind him, look at this, Filipao, what a start he's having to this race. He's coming for that 2nd place.
Yeah, Enzo Filipao to the outside as they head through this first kink as they head down the hill just here. He'll be the outside then, once again through the Andretti hairpin at T2. He's got to be bold, he's got to be aggressive, and I think the Frenchman has been exactly that this evening, straight around the outside of Mate Mikiewicz. That is brilliant stuff there. Too much curb being taken from Mikiewicz, and I think Philip Dries might work his way through here and up into 3rd position. Costly mistake there from the Hungarian. He seems to have the speed, but not quite the consistency. He's been out wide through T3 again.
Oh, is that is off in the background. He's dropping down the way. What a night he's having. It's Christian Michel there, dives up the inside of turn 4, uses his teammate to get through once again for a 2nd driver this evening, as now Orban is having Vitva up his inside in towards turn 5. Once again, Mikiewicz sliding that rear, manages to hold on to 5th place as it stands. Wow, he's really sliding that rear end this evening.
It's not gone the way of either of the Hungarians thus far. Mate Mikiewicz dropping back to 5th position. like you say, Christian Orban down to 7th on that first lap, so not ideal for those. Other drivers, Victor Strettmans has dropped back a couple of positions down to 11th spot on the first lap. Of course, you had that drama there for Marius Zabdir. I think we might see a couple of retirements in this one, but yet to see a retirement in the first round of the Mazda MX-5 Cup. We did see a driver drop a lap, which was Rokas to be in the previous race, but no one has retired thus far. Maybe we'll see that one come to a close. Of course, they're not fighting for grid positions anymore. They're literally just fighting for points. Inside line being taken from Enzo Filipao, but defended brilliantly from Sebastian Ray. You were quite right. He was very strong in the TCRs, whether it was first, second season. He was very strong in those. Yet to find his foot, but now might be doing so in these MX-5s as Filipao's looking to go and take the lead.
He's coming for it, isn't he? Through to the kickoff turn 1, in towards the braking zone at the hairpin. Can he find a way through around the outside? But it's actually going to be Dries trying to do that move up the inside. Around the outside of turn 1, or turn 2, not always necessarily the place you want to go. If you're in a three-way battle up the insides of Filipao, he got a place here on that first lap. Can he get Ray for the race lead here and the final race this evening? Yes, he's got the position, but he's going to have to hold it in turn 4.
See if there was going to be any bold move from Philip Dries, but right now with the third position, I think even he knows. He's sat there being like, oh, I've won this round. But we'll have to wait and see. One bit of drama, and that might well change. It's going to be 3 wide up towards turn 5 rather, because you've got Philip Dries going around the outside, Christian Michael going down the inside, and both of them have passed the German and Sebastian Ray. It's brilliant stuff from the new Racing.com drivers. Instantly over to give the slipstream to his teammates. Philip Dries heads his way up towards turn 6. Inside line being taken from Christian Michael. Philip Dries has worked his way through the second, Christian Michael in the third, and Sebastian Ray has dropped back in an instant to 4th spot.
Great work by the teammates. Double moves to 3 positions so far in this race. Round the outside for Wittwerd is going to be in towards the corkscrew. Can he get that place from Ray? Yes, he can. Bolden up towards 4th place as Ray drops down to 5th. He's got Mikovits all over the back of him. So that's your front row already down to 5th and 6th.
I've got to say, big shout out to, I've always said this, like NeedRacing.com, I'd like to see some more teams do it. Pick a livery and have that actually team's livery, because at least then we can pick them apart quite nicely. Not from each other, but from the rest of the field, and that's the important bit. And we certainly can with Turka Hakkinen and Philip Dries and Christian Michael. A bit of the only driver offline with us, by the way, that has been a Cravey defending from Turka Hakkinen. The 2 Finns once again duking it out this time, though. It's for 8th position as Turka Hakkinen freshened his victory in the previous race, trying to work his way back up the order. Philip Dries in his 2nd position in this race, like I say, will almost certainly have the 50 points for the round victory in the put those 50 points into the championship, continuing on as he ended the previous season. But he'll be hungry for another race victory. He wants to show the field, actually, this is how you do it.
Yes, certainly he's putting his name down to get another championship so far. Of course, there's 3 races a night, but there's only 4 rounds. And if you start having a championship, having a strong round like this, that is looking really good. The issue for them, Filipao, he's really starting to put away the front. He's got some speed tonight as well in his blue machine up towards the front. Fixed setups in this championship, so everyone's on the same setup. This is all driver talent between these drivers, and you definitely see some different driving styles coming out as well, and it's really working out for a few of them tonight, namely the top 3 in this race.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm going to say, I think Enzo Filipao has picked the livery that I would have picked coming into this one. I love myself.
Oh, sure,
yeah, exactly. A bit of blue. I'd like the blue to be a bit darker, but yeah, the green is there. Nemchek straight down the inside there, Turka Hakkinen. Contact between the pair of them as they come down towards the rainy curve. It's dramatic, and we might see Victor Strettmans as well working his way through in all of this. To the outside he will go as they head their way down to the penultimate corner. It's a dicey bit of contact.
Yeah, with how these cars get a bit of a tank slapper going as well, I thought we were going to see that, especially towards a fast corner, but Hakkinen saved that very nicely. Still in that 10th place where he started, so not making too many improvements so far, but at least he's on the road and continuing. As you say, he's got Straightmans in behind him, but he's actually going to be looking to Nemchek just ahead of them. Look at this battle, top 7 really, just about in a bit of a battle, but also the battle between the teammates. We said Christian Michael would be good if he wins this race, but currently sitting in that 3rd place and not to dive it on his teammate.
Yeah, I think it was out a little bit wide was Philip Dries there. These two will probably just have they'll give it a good go to try and catch Enzo Filipao, and if not, a little bit of banter between the pair of them. Whoa! That was a big moment there for Philip Dries. The 2nd time we've seen that this evening. He'll rejoin behind his teammate. He'll look to try and go after the victory as Luciano Wittwerd now gets straight down the inside. This could be bad for Philip Dries.
Yeah, he's got some bad momentum now, but I think he should be able to get it back at this point. Mikovic in the background just making contact with Ray. once again, really good save. And for those who don't know, when you get into a situation like that, you actually have to turn away from the corner. So in that place, he would have had to turn left, making yourself go off track even more. That's how you save one of those things. But unfortunately, actually managing to keep into this 4th place. Now Ray getting very close to him, in towards the corkscrew. Mikovic also makes some contact. Orban also makes some contact between all of them so far in this battle. Wow, crazy stuff we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, that was a bold moment as Farner's going to drop back, was involved in the fight with Charlie Monk, who I think has also dropped back and all of that. They were both closing into the rear end of Victor Stretemans, and I don't know if there's been contact between the pair of them. Monk still remains in 13th, or rather drops back into 13th position, now behind Peter Daniel, but certainly some dramas outside of the top 10. So look at Turk Hakkinen, Victor Stretemans. There you can see the likes of Daniel and Monk behind. Don't have that dramatic second race, dropping down the order after looking so strong, having so many mistakes late on. This time he looks a little bit more secured in the race. Hakkinen's getting to the outside and M-track.
He needs to try and make this move. A fairly sizable gap is opening up ahead of him. It's about 2 seconds now. So if Hakkinen wants to get himself a bit higher up than just 9th place, he needs to be starting to make this move. We're already over halfway through this race, the final race of the evening, final chance to get points and get your overall points for this evening. That's going to be the all-important one, of course, that goes towards the championship. Although up back towards the front, though, P5 is going to be for Sebastian Ray up the inside there. Gaps forming up ahead of them. So Mikovic wants to fill it up the inside of turn 6. This isn't always where you want to be making the move, but I think he's done it. Yes, he has, as Ray backs out of it.
So Mikovic then 5th place. Sebastian Ray drops down, but that out wide moment there from Mikovic could actually open the door for Sebastian Ray to work his way through, coming up towards the corkscrew. To the outside Ray will go, and to the inside Mikovic will go out wide. Oh, it's dicey between a lot of them as the up and under potential is working for Christian Orban. He's got to get to the outside going through the rainy curve. That side surely isn't going to work, but yeah, dicey stuff. There was a big slide from Mikovic coming down the hill. We see that quite a lot, but it's less fun when you got all the pressure behind you. It's Luciano Biff, by the way, purple first second, purple second second. That's at the fast lap of the race.
Wow, fast times coming in here as we get towards the final 5 minutes of this evening. Slow exit potentially onto this front straightaway though for Mikovic, as it's going to be Sebastian Ray. Gets to run up the inside. He's slipstreaming Orban, and also Villacrevi in that blue machine is getting involved in this one. Can Ray find a way through to the inside? No, Mikovic is going to cover that one off. He's go 3 wide, almost in towards the braking zone, round the outside.
Orban, Nate Mikovic, Sebastian Ray and Villacrevi, all 4 of them everything he can. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left to go on the clock, Cam. Do you think he can hang on, or are we going to see some big chops and changes in this grouping?
Well, I think they're not finishing in the same order, if that is your question. I think something is going to happen with the racing that we've seen tonight. These guys are going absolutely crazy, getting some of these sends, some of these positions with some sends, I should say. As I look up there to the inside of the kink, it was for Orban in that white car. Does it slow down a little bit onto the straight? Yes, he does. Villacrevi gets a run up the rail straight in towards the corkscrew. We've seen him already make an overtake to the outside there, but he's not close enough this time.
Yeah, certainly not. Of course, these 4 remaining very, very close. And again, it's what we like to see. That fast lap, by the way, did go the way of Luciano Biff in 3rd position. So as he was closing up to Christian Mikel. So these 2 remain close. Enzo Filipao a little bit maybe too far down the road. We know with the time they've got, there should be roughly 4 laps left to go. There's plenty of time for them to catch, unless Luciano gets greedy. If he gets greedy and goes for 2nd position now, I think the win's gone.
Oh, it depends. If he thinks he can get into that 2nd place and then bridge the gap, that is potentially one idea, but we know how fast Christian Michel is. And is it an omen for NeedRacing.com? Can Christian Michel get this race victory? But Filipao looks so strong. He's in the background. Mikovic has also got past Ray for that 5th position. So loads of battles inside this top 10 as they continue on, as Michel holds on to this 2nd place for now. But Bitver with the purple lap in behind.
Like I say, there's certain things in that battle. Like if I'm Luciano Biff, yes, sure, I am confident that I can bridge the gap to Enzo Filipao. but will I lose too much time in getting past Christian Mikel and doing so? I mean, he's fast enough. The pace between the pair of those, it's not too different between the pair of them. So you might as well leave Christian to do it. But then the pace of Enzo Filipao right now, he's doing everything he needs to do on the time sheets to hold that gap. Previous lap time from Filipao was a 1 minute 38.2. The previous lap time from Christian Mikel was a 1 minute 38.5. Yeah, it's looking good for the Frenchman at the moment, but things can change in a heartbeat. I mean, look at Peter Daniel in the previous race.
Absolutely, things can change very quickly around here. It's a track that's very menacing. We've seen the big curbs already. We've already seen two drivers safe flipping the car, but also just the gravel as well. The slides for all these medium speed corners is very easy to lose time. As to the inside goes Ray in the burgundy car defending. He's got Orban trying to get the up and under out of the final corners. They come down this front straightaway. Mikovic's there. He's got up into 5th place on that previous lap. Is Ray going to lose another one this time around?
Well, there is 2 laps left to go in this one. Sebastian Ray, Christian Orban fighting over that 6th position. Villacrevi as well, sat directly behind them, looking to get his way into the mix. Looked to make it 3 wide into the first corner, into the second corner, and then backed out of it wisely. Gets the outside line being taken from that blue MX-5, the inside line being taken from Christian Orban. It takes quite a lot of that curb. Mounts the sausage and then gets pushed out into the driver getting around the outside, and Villacrevi still continues to try side by side between the pairings. This is what battling does around here. The side by side between them, it lasted 2 corners and it has allowed Sebastian Ray to pull out nearly a second.
Yeah, this the battling, you just lose so much time around here. It's pretty crazy. I think it's just because it's such a high-speed track. If you're battling and you're not going that high speed, of course, you just lose so much momentum. It's pretty crazy. So Ray should have that one covered. I say that, though, he's gone off the track a little bit. Should be enough to hold on this time around. Can Cravey make a move, though, in towards the corkscrew? Orban's defending a little bit up the inside, though, goes the Finnish driver. It's very tight there. Might have to back up that one. Yes, he does. So Orban holds on to that 7th place. But as the race continues on, we're starting to see these gaps spread out just a little bit.
They certainly are. We will have 1 lap left to go. 1.1 seconds to lead for Enzo Filipao. And so now I get the feeling that between Luciano Wittfurt and Christian Mikel, any goodwill of trying to close down on the Frenchman will go straight into the bin, because Wittfurt will want that second position, will want to work his way through. It doesn't look like NeedRacing.com we're going to take a victory for the 3rd consecutive race, although Christian Mikel's given it as much of a run as he possibly could. The yellow flag comes out in the final sector courtesy of Ontis, so he's had another issue, unfortunately, for the 2nd race this evening. There goes a little bit of a look. He almost was looking for the up and under there with Luciano Wittfurt. He is hungry for the spot.
Well, he certainly is, and he can get through, but realistically, I think it's going to be either the corkscrew or maybe turn 5, because Michel's actually had a pretty bad run here through turn 3 into turn 4. This is important to come onto this little back straight. Can Wittfurt get the run to find his way up this inside?
He's going to give it a go here. Outside, inside, outside again as they head their way down towards T5. Inside line being taken from Christian Mikel. This is going to be a big defence for the German to try and keep Luciano Wittfurt, 2-time round winner last season, the MX-5 Cup, behind. They head their way up towards turn 6. Once again, the up and under was trying to go. Wittfurt's getting super aggressive here because he wants to work his way through. Out wide, a little bit, there goes Mikel.
And here comes Wittfurt to the outside line. He's already done this move today. Can he finally do it for 2nd place? Michel on the inside, Wittfurt on the outside. They go wheel banging, window banging as we come down the hill. Contact is made. Wittfurt goes around.
That was poor from the pair of them on the run up towards the corkscrew. Not ideal. Wittfurt sent into the barrier. Matej Mikiewicz into 3rd position. Sebastian Ray up in the 4th. Christian Orban. Luciano Wittfurt is going to drop his way down to 10th place. So big drama in that fight for 2nd. Less so in that fight for the victory, because Enzo Filipao is going to depart the final corner, race his way up towards the line and say, absolutely not, NeedRacing.com. You won't take all 3 race victories. I'm going to steal one. It's all about me, 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 me. And Filipao on top over Christian Mikel. Drama up towards the line. Of course, Matej Mikiewicz taking that 3rd position, so onto the podium in the round where he looked so strong in qualifying. Less so to take a victory, but it is what it is. We'll see the top 10. Enzo Filipao, Christian Mikel, Matej Mikiewicz, Sebastian Ray, Christian Orban, Villacrevi, Philip Dries dropping down to 7th position, but should still secure the 50 points for a round of victory. We'll have to dig into that one a little bit. Turk Akinen in 8th place, Victor Stretemans in 9th, and then Nemchek in that 10th position. Of course, you can see Luciano Wittfurt then fastest lap of the race outside of the top 10. He will be seething. Of course, we only had one angle of it, but let's be honest, it wasn't great. from them two going up towards the corkscrew. Daniel then in 12th place. Charlie Monk inside the top 15 in all 3 races this evening. Gaspar Mish in 14th. Felix Bjorn in 15th position with Kovalevsky. Obratau, Fana, Deby inside the top 20 this time, with De Villa down in that 20th position. The last runners on the grid see Ontis, Polgar, Bartolos, Bachmann, Marish, Zabdir. Big drama for him this evening. He's not had a good one. Sebastiano Rossi also down in 26th. A retirement from Jose Luis Gamero, and a disqualification courtesy of breaching points limits during the race from Evtushenko. But yeah, okay, Cam, what do you make of that run towards the corkscrew?
So yeah, Vivid obviously had the outside line, and we saw already from the braking zone. I mean, he was turning in, trying to get that move, so they were scraping door panels all the way through. So maybe Michel didn't leave in quite enough room for that second apex, because Vivid was very, very sort of tight, so he had to go straight over that, the curb on the inside line, which always unsettles the car. But to be honest, they were side by side batting for second position on the final lap, both being aggressive. I think that will just have to come down to a racing incident, and both of the drivers just pushing the limits of what's possible.
Potentially. But yeah, let's give a bit of a shout out to needracing.com, and particularly Philip Dries. Should be the round victory there. Again, never trust to commentators' math, so we won't. But of course, that round victory, the race victory in the first one, then 5th place, then 7th. Solid evening for the champion to just kind of ticked off a good one to start the season.
Yeah, it's always good to have when you're a reigning champion, to then start the first round of the next season very well, because realistically, you want to win 2 championships in a row. You want to defend your title, so it's always good coming out with a solid start. And it looks like his team are very prepared as well. So I think they're really going to be challenging all those needracing.com drivers by the time we get to the end of the season. The issue of him is got drivers like Philippou who are going to be pushing them, every step of the way.
Now, that'll wrap us up here in the evening. Of course, you'll be able to rejoin the Mazda MX-5 Cup in mid-Ohio in a few weeks' time on the 8th of November before we head into Indianapolis. And then, of course, in the new year, I know it says 10th to 10th, but it's supposed to say 10th 01. Just going to throw that one straight under the bus for Chris behind the scenes. Sorry, mate. But, of course, we'll be racing in the new year, starting off with the final round of each of the championship. Will be Daytona for the MX-5. We'll be back, though, in a week's time for the Hockenheim Ring. But, Cam, you're not going to be back until December. Talk us through your, just give us a bit of a shout out for the evening. Had a lot of fun there. We'll see you again at Donington Park, I guess. Yeah,
of course, loads of things happening, so commentary schedule is a little bit all over the place, but certainly it's going to be an awesome season. Can't wait to see what happens, and I'll be back on the MX-5s for Daytona as well in January, so definitely going to be looking forward to that one and see how this season progresses. It's going to be a great season of racing throughout all three of the championships, so can't wait to see what happens with this.
Well, I won't be here next week, nor will Cam. I will be back in a couple of weeks' time to take you through the first round of the Praga Cup, that one being at Suzuka. But next week, it will be the start of the Carreras at the Hockenheim Ring. Ewan O'Leary and Darragh Thacker will join you, of course. Captain Coffee, Chris No, will still be behind the scenes. But for myself, Lewis McGlade, from Cam Roger, and from Chris as well, we thank you so much for joining us for the first round here in the RaceRoom Ranked Championship Season 2 of 2023. We'll see you soon. Until then, though, a very warm goodbye.
Do you also feel the same as this car enthusiast? He's reached his vehicle dream, but suddenly the original black wheels seem a bit boring. A colourful detail would add a lot more pep. And a little eye-catcher to match the paint would make the car perfect. Customization options don't only transform the wheel to visually match the vehicle, but also provides one-of-a-kind look on the road. The wheel color, rim protectors, center caps, valve caps, and even the wheel bolts can be configured and designed individually using style components of the new BBS Unlimited wheel system. And here's how it works. The BBS Unlimited base wheels are available in a total of 8 different colors, whether it be a glossy, satin, or polished finish, or from a deep indigo blue to racing gold to a rich bronze. Rim protectors are a colorful detail to visually enhance the wheel, while preventing damage from curb contact. In addition, the rim protectors can easily and quickly be replaced and renewed at any time. In total, 6 different designs are available. The center cap completes the wheel. So how cool would it be if it could also be customized? BBS Unlimited Style makes this possible. It's available in 56mm and 70.6mm diameters and can be applied in a variety of ways with the BBS logo. The center cap is available in 2D or 3D embossing, as well as in several color variations. And with the 3D rotation cover, the BBS logo remains visible to everyone, even when the car is in high gear. The valve caps complement the wheel in 6 different colors. This gives the individual wheel an even more coherent look. You can even choose the wheel bolt in the last step to match the wheel. Available in black, silver, and even titanium. With the help of the BBS Unlimited Style components, you're able to create a work of art out of a conventional wheel, according to your own wishes and ideas. Just take a look at our configurator, and after a few clicks you can already start designing the perfect wheel for your vehicle. Do you have any questions about customization? Then contact the Wheel Expert now.